morning, everybody. How are you? The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Shut up, for fuck's sake. Jesus.
Good morning, you lot. How are you doing? Welcome to the Short Rise Up show on this, not hump day. We're not getting over the hump of the week. This is Wise Up Wednesday. So if you are new to the show, welcome. My name is Dani Wallace and I am the Queen Bee. It's a ridiculously audacious statement to make. I am quite aware. However, it is much less about me and much more about you guys watching at home. It's a reclamation statement of your birthright to success, to wealth, to health, to abundance, to all of that good shit that sometimes those of us not born into it have to be a little bit more tenacious about getting hold of. How are you doing? Get in my comments and let me know. Good morning, you lot. How are you doing? Emma Roscoe is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? We've got Charlotte Clark. Hello, my angel. It's so nice to see so many of you coming back and watching the show with me live. Jojo Smith. We've got our creative Sasta, our fairy sassy godmother in the house this morning. Good morning. Sassy salutations to all you fabulous bees. Double dance today. Absolutely. You've got a hefty dose, a double D this morning. I'm so excited about our guest this morning. So for those of you who are new to the show, or for those of you that watched the show and thinking, what's this new format of which you speak, Dani? We're splitting the show into three sections during the week. So we kicked off this Monday, and Monday is for all of my goal getters. So it's all about showing up on a Monday. It's all about turning up with your goals for the week, letting me know what they are, getting accountable with the community, and talking about our buzz for this week, which is falling apart to fall back together again. Then we've got a Wednesday show. So only 3 shows a week now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can find us on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook or in my free community, the IATQ Beehive. It stands for I Am the Queen Bee. On a Wednesday, we have our guests in. Now, I've been sourcing some of the best possible guests and experts in all manner of personal development and business development for you. I cannot wait to bring you all of these incredible guests. Today is no exception. We are starting with a bang, quite literally, with the glorious Dan Meredith. He's going to be joining us in just a second. And then on a Friday, we are going to be rising up together. And what do I mean by that? I mean celebrating the shit out of you lot, celebrating you guys and everything that you've achieved in the week. What I wanted to do with the show is make us more accountable to each other. If we're growing as a community, then let's chuffing grow as a community. No person is left behind. Good morning. Who else is watching along? Let me know. Give us a little cheeky share if you're feeling it. Morning, Simon. I'm so excited. We've got a sparring strategy day on Monday, me and Simon Clevers, who won that in the last Be Heard challenge, which will be coming up in October. I can't wait for another challenge happening, all things speaking. Glad it's not just you. Nina, what's Nina saying? Where is she? She's excited. There we go. Lisa, Dani, I hope you're doing okay this morning. I am. I was a little bit ill yesterday. I felt a little bit wobbly. How is it only Wednesday? It feels like it's a very Thursday-y Wednesday today, isn't it? It's feeling quite Thursday-y today. But morning, all you Bonnie buggers. I hope you are all feeling good. So without further ado, because we have a shorter show this morning, we've not got very long to fit in a shit ton of fire for you. I've got a very good friend of mine and also my current mentor. We've got Dan Meredith joining us on the show this morning. I am not going to do too much of an introduction. I'll let him tell you a little bit more about him. What I will say is he is the author of one of my absolute favourite books, How to Be... I'll cover his face up there. Look at that. How to Be Fucking Awesome. I read this book when it came out, originally about 4 years ago, something like that. And it completely aligned with the way that I wanted to do business. It's a little bit cheeky. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, just like me, just like him. Please welcome to the Show Up Rise Up show, Wise Up Wednesday, Mr. Dan Meredith, everybody. Good morning.
Sorry, Dan, it was just stretching there.
I was just showing the way the toilets were.
Little stretch. Hey, everyone. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing? Are you good?
Considering And I will say this, obviously, some of you don't know me, so I'll keep my language, let's just say, a little more tempered.
You don't have to.
Very few people that can get me to do anything pre-11 o'clock, which is when I traditionally start my day. I'm a night owl. And outside of tattooed augmented head cases, which is my usual pond I fish in.
Wow.
The only other person, very few people, was your good self, Dani. So congratulations for arousing me this early in the day.
Dude, in fairness, I am a tattooed mental head case, so it's all good. Like,
True,
I think that maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just fit a type.
Next question, Dani.
So Dan, thank you so much. I know you don't normally do this sort of thing. You don't normally do these sort of podcasty video type things on the regular. Given that you don't much have to anymore, it's interesting. It's interesting. Tell us a little bit more. Like, I could wax lyrical about sort of our journey together and what have you, but I would love for those people in my audience that haven't come across you yet. How very dare they if they haven't?
How rude! How very rude!
Tell us a little bit more about you, bud.
So, do you want to go for the quick backstory from where I went to where I was here, or do you want to do it right now? What would you prefer?
Let's go for it. Let's go. Where were you? Where are you?
Background in life prior to this was alternating between, I did very, very well in headhunting and fitness, or flip-flop. My goal was always to, ever since I was basically a young man, I saw a Dispatches, which is a program about, basically it's a care homes in the catchment area where I live. My little sister's brain damaged. She's a developmentally challenged adult, she's special needs. And they were treating them really horribly. And I thought, fuck, unless I get the money together to kind of look after her, she's going to end up somewhere like that. So I kind of ever since then, I've always wanted to find a way to earn well, in a good way that makes a difference. But the problem is, like many of us, time for money. I would work crazy hours. I earned well, I've been earning sort of six figures in different industries since I was 19, but that was I was the hardest working fucker in the office, literally I would outwork and I'd push myself to the point where I would get ill. I've had some heart issues, all kind of manners of things, and just, broke myself. But anyway, went fuck it. I went in for a copywriting job, 2013.
How do you go? Wait 1 second. How do you go from the fitness industry, which is where you started? Am I right? You so headhunt. So talk to us about headhunt. What's headhunting?
Fancy recruitment, very high end level of recruitment. I was very, very good at it. I was, one of the best in the whole sort of country. What I did at the time, I was very niche specific. And then fitness, I'd always wanted my own gym. I got that and still have a gym. Now it's one of my businesses. And I saw this thing called, I started my journey just by shit, because I filled my gym up in 6 weeks, just done.
Right.
So I came onto Facebook, I think 2012 maybe. And I just started sharing with people what I did, how I did it. And then people were asking me things. And then I started learning something called copywriting. So I learned that. And then I went off to America to work with a guy. I ended up getting a job with someone whose career was already going like this, but I got in there then. I ended up building, an agency that was generating $250,000 a month. I put 1,000 members in his group, at, $100 a piece. I was good at what I did. He was very, very intelligent, but more introverted, and I'm obviously more extroverted. So I did the stuff that he couldn't do. And that was the start of my journey. And that was 2014, I think.
And if you think about 2014, that was really a time when, if I look at this corner of the internet right now, so the Dani Wallace corner of the internet, the Lisa Johnson corner of the internet, Natasha Bray corner, the Dan corner of the internet, if we look at things like Facebook memberships and what have you, you are sort of OG where that's concerned, right? With the kind of the monetization of community within the social media space. It's I find, again, something that I find fascinating, being in this area of the internet and having so many people that are in my space, so many people that are building online businesses. They want to create those online communities, those online memberships, those paid groups and all of that sort of stuff. And you were like part of that original wave of community building. How was that right at the beginning? Was that like a gold rush at the time? And
it was an accident. Most of the good things done. Honestly, the simple fact of the matter is, got to work with this guy. I'd done some fun. I always say this. I started off being good at what I did. I made a lot of other people a lot of money, and I got paid well for it as well.
Yeah.
I went into copywriting. I had my own agency. I scaled that up to sort of 60, 70K a month within about 4 months. I was very, very good. I've come from a sales background, so I'm good. Not only am I a good salesperson, I'm also pretty damn good at what I did. So I'd only really focus on the things I could do. So I'd had this credibility. I'd proven my worth. There's lots of people talking about me. I was making lots of people money. And honestly, when all this started kicking off, I had a relationship at the time that had ended. I used to basically drink to kind of like take the edge off of life, and that got more and more and more. And when you are on your own and you don't have I'm technically a grown up, but I'm very much not a grown up.
We'll use the term inverted commas. I'm the same, mate, and I've got 3 kids. Like, how I don't know.
I would have, end of the day, a couple of drinks, nothing wrong with that. 2 became 4, 4 became 6, 6 became half a bottle, it became 3/4. Then I was drinking a bottle of vodka every night, and then honestly, one day I thought, right, this needs to fucking stop. And I met a guy called James Schramko. And he was talking to me, and that was at a event in San Diego. And he was talking about how he does his work blocks. And he said, I do 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon, and that's it. And I thought, cool, I could do that. So what I said, look, guys, to help me keep accountable, because I keep my word. I don't like letting people down. So I thought to myself, if I showed up at 9 and 3, okay, these are my 2 slots, 9 and 2, sorry, that I would get less pissed the night before. And then I'd show up, and all I'd say is I would do an accountability post every day in this group. And for helping me stay accountable, I share stuff. I just tell you some of the stuff that I've learned. And I've really, really been trained and worked with some of the best in the world. Like, I'm very, very lucky to have that. And that was the deal. And it just started. So it came from a place of non-monetization. It was purely about community. I've been doing this since I was 5 years old. There's a school report somewhere on my wall which said, Daniel continually put the needs of his classmates and the more outlying children ahead of his own, sometimes to the detriment of his studies. So I've always brought the oddballs together. I didn't want to feel people left out. And I always felt like I was the black sheep. I was the one that was the outsider. And my attitude is like, fuck it, I'll do it myself then. I did it at uni. I did it in the rugby club. I did it at everything I've gone to. I've always been the person that's brought people together. And then people kept telling me, this is going to be your business. Like, how is it going to be a business? This is what I do. This is what I do. So I'd say for those watching, think to yourself, what is it you naturally do? What have you done since you were a kid? That might be a place you want to focus on. Off with. So that's and so scaling forward now. So really, really quickly, that kicked off, went fucking mental. People wanted me to work with them. I did some groups and masterminds and stuff like that. And then in the space of 6 weeks, I was basically a very cool invite-only mastermind in Utah. Me and a couple of friends I don't drink anymore, but were absolutely shit-faced. We decided to book a 1,000-seater venue in London. Gary Vaynerchuk as our fucking keynote speaker, which came with a very
casual.
High price. And I woke up to that and thinking, shit, we've got 5 weeks to fill it and pay him. And then I thought, fuck it, I'll write a book as well. So then I engaged with Critical Rethink Press. We did a planning day. And then, honestly, I ended up, I did a planning day with them. And I wrote my book in 3.5 days. There was absolutely no plan to do it just yet. I wrote it in 3.5 days. Just smashed it out. I thought, fuck it. My goal was to get 500 printed, which I did. They appeared on the day, literally just as we were opening the doors, and just sell them. That was it. I just thought, cool. And I don't know how many hundreds of thousands it sold now, but it's been a bestseller. It was #1 in Audible, as in all of Audible, for months. Amazon were actually paying for traffic for me because they're making so much money. They're selling so many of mine. And it's, I recently, I think last year, you'll love this because it will show you how ridiculous I am. I forgot about this until someone mentioned it. Barnes & Noble bought 250 million copies. I don't remember that. Apparently I signed something in 2019. I remember
you sharing that the other week. And I was
and I'm just kind of like, oh, is that my book? So loads of good things have come off the back of it. I've got great opportunities. Business has been awesome. I've made some of the best friends ever. I get my private clients, which Dani is one of them. I've literally only worked with people I like my coaching days, my favorite days of the week. It definitely helps on the few times I've dipped my toe into the world of online dating. You say you're a bestseller author. I fucking love that. It does well. It's literally it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's interesting. I think one of the things that when I first came across you, and we laugh about this now, just how very similar we are in terms of our outlook on life and the way that we kind of go about and bring community together. But also when we've decided to do something, we just make those things happen. Like you waking up and doing the event in a similar way for me, creating the events that I create now. And you thought I'd written a book in as short a time as you, and I hadn't. Mine was in 2.5 weeks and not 3.5 days. I didn't have quite as much coffee as you. I got another one. I'm going to create the plan and try and write it in as few days. I'm not, because I tell you what, mate, it was.
I didn't sleep for 2 of those days.
Yeah, I'm all right for that. I'm okay. I have nothing to prove. But sometimes just getting the things done, and one of the things that you've said is sometimes that you've just got to do the things that other people are unprepared to do. And that's the difference between those that do and those that don't, is the fact that those that do just fucking do. Like, they don't sit around waiting for it to fall into their lap. They go and make these things happen, eh?
And this is the thing. Do it, like, if you're having a bad time, do something. If you're in a good mood, do something. If people are pissing you off, do something. Just do stuff. Sit in your own head. I say it on all my talks, said it in my book. If your life's fucked you over, got bum dry, like, it happens sometimes, okay? 24-hour pity party, have a little cry, have some snacks, have a wank, have a drink, fucking play games, do whatever you fucking want, don't care.
Yeah.
But then shut up and get on with it. Like, moaning doesn't get anything done. And I know our theme this week is, what was the theme again? Sorry, Dani, because you said it so more eloquently than me.
Falling apart to fall back together again, and you've experienced that in a number of ways all the way through, right from the very beginning to where you are now. Even in the last 12 months, I think has been one of the more poignant. Yeah, one of the more poignant situations that you've had to endure, that anyone really has to endure. Tell us a little bit about that, actually.
So, one thing I say. So the first thing, so I will say this with comedy. So again, there's no need for any woe is me comments. You can join in. You're allowed to laugh. One thing I'll say right now is the world needs more laughter. It needs more brevity. It needs more infotainment. It needs people who make them smile, that lifts them up, that, you know, brings joy to their life.
Right.
So obviously all of us had COVID last year. So we'll put that as the overarching fuckery. Okay. Yeah. So first thing that happened.
Fuckery number one.
Yeah. First thing, this is going to sound ultra pretentious, but, you know, I am at a position I've, you know, very happy with my life choices, but one of my main hobbies is seeing how fast I can go without dying. So I have a selection of toys that go very fucking quick. So I like jumping out of planes. I'm going to Silverstone tomorrow to race motorbikes. But as your friend,
it has my heart in my mouth. I feel like like an auntie at the sidelines going, "Oh God, look after yourself, Daniel."
They gave me the keys. They gave me the keys to literally a racing sports bike and go have fun. I'm like, well, okay. This is your own fault now. But so anyway, I started off the year. I loved the water. I find the water very relaxing. I always live by the water. Helps me, you know, stay chill and stuff. But I had 2 jet skis. They got nicked. So I started off the year with 2 jet skis being nicked. Awesome. Okay, that's the start. Then, excuse me, COVID kicked in. I have a physical business. So my boys, who I love, these are the guys who work for me in the gym. I'm pretty much all of their only jobs. All of them now have homes, have cars, have futures, have savings. These, you know, none of them have, let's just say, the best dad. Okay, and I've kind of been there for them. You know, older guy. They've literally. Andy has been with me 9 years. So and
this is in your gym business. So you've got in real life business in inverted commas as well as online business, just so everyone knows.
Yeah. So I had to transition my boys offline to online, which they don't enjoy doing as much. So we had to do that to close that business. Then just general business fuckeries that you get. Then my dad, unfortunately, he's a little shit. He had cancer for 2 years, didn't tell me, and it came back with a bit of a vengeance in February. And then my family were trying to move as well. So then I live on my own. I'm very much a bachelor, fun lifestyle. So then I had my mum, dad, my disabled sister move into my flat with me. Then, unfortunately, in July, my dad passed away. So he hung on. He literally was basically half man, half pipe by the end of it. He had all manner of shit fitted to him. But he hung on till the end of July. So then my dad passed away. Then I dated my first ever narcissist. 0 stars. Do not recommend.
Do not recommend those narcissists, my friend.
If you can, I'll just say this right now. They tend to be quite hot. So if you can just get in there, get what you need and go, fill your boots.
Don't hang around to get hurt.
Just do the moist friction and yeet. You're done. So anyway, I'm a big softie at heart. That broke my heart a little bit. And then I got to early December and I thought to myself, right, nothing else can go wrong this year.
Before you go to this next bit, all the way through this, what you're doing is you are serving your community, and also nothing stops. But at the same time, you've built a team around you that allowed you to take some grieving time for your dad. I know you packed yourself up on your motorbike and kind of went off into the world for a week or so, and had some time to actually take this. So even though all of these things happened during this time, what always impressed me, I guess is a really kind of glib way of putting it, is the fact that you were really very aware of your mental health and the necessity to look after you and your family first above everything, and then. But you had all of the cogs in place so that Coffee with Dan, Espresso with Dan, for example, your membership group, that your clients were all looked after. And then you were able to sort of cocoon yourself for a minute and take a breath, and all the while still serving your community. And as A, somebody who is a huge admirer of your work, and B, now as a friend, like I look at that and think, as an example of someone going through something and working at the same time, that was a big thing to watch and learn from at the time. And I know it was like, what different question, but how was that?
Yeah, on our next one next week.
Yeah.
So, next week, I'm going to sort of walk you through what I did, how I did it, the actual practical steps.
The specifics.
Through shit, because I did some stuff that I've not done before. That was a little uncomfortable, painful at times, but I'm glad I did it. These are things certain things, physical things, certain mindset things, certain things I have laughed at, not outwardly, but gone, fuck that, that's a load of shite, and done it. And I'm like, oh no, it's good. So the practical elements of doing it is. And
that's why we've got a two-part, isn't it? We've got this conversation today, and then next Wednesday we've got Dan back with us. You'll be pleased to know you lot.
I've always been like this. And the thing is, there was a time of this year I had to take a month out this year to fully heal, grieve, get myself back in track again. But for me, when you have people relying on you, my family, obviously mum and sister needed me there, my team needed me there. I refused to let people down professionally, and I was very honest with everyone and said, look, I think I'll be fine, but if I can't, I can refund things, I can do it other times. Just I was very open and honest with people. Man,
you turned up for me at the Big Festoon in June last year, when really you knew that your dad didn't have very long left, and it would have been absolutely cool for you. And you agreed, in a very short space of time, to come and do that, have that conversation, come and do that. If anyone watched the Big Festoon, Dan let me go for a wee. I had not been for a week. He was like, I'll just take over for a second, Danny. Go and do what you need to do.
But this is it. One of the things my dad used to say is, he said, life carries on. He was very proud of where I'd got to. And he said, don't ruin anything on behalf of me and stuff. It was just, for him, he just wanted to know, that I was going to be there for Mum and Anna, and that was his thing. And, I spent as much time as I could. And obviously when we're in the final stages, I just said to my team and everyone else, I said, look, I'm going to step back until it's done, basically.
And then you came back, and then December.
So then, that was my year. Obviously dipped my toe and a few other things in some wrong places, but nonetheless, sorry. I
can't help but laugh about it.
It is funny. They were hot. They were really pretty. But, anyway, and then my mum and sister, obviously. So my mum is in her 60s, very traditional. Nothing wrong with this. So no judgment. Okay, she was very much a case of she was, housewife, stayed at home, looked after the kids, dad worked and stuff. So dad used to do all the driving, dad used to do a lot of stuff, and mum at the home. That was their dynamic, okay?
Yep.
And so mum is all of a sudden having to do different things that she's not done before, driving to places, doing places. She's a little tiny little meek woman, sort of very new. And then, excuse me, and then you get that message from someone. They go, I don't mean to worry you, but can you give us a call? It's like, well, I'm fucking worried now, aren't I? So my
thanks for that.
Got on the call to mum, and she said, oh, don't need to worry, Dan, but we've been hit by a car. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. So then my mum and sister were T-boned in a car. The reason that's even worse, the car took the impact and stuff, but that was our only car for mum. And I said, look, mum, don't worry. We'll get a hire car. I'll buy you a car. Just fine. Anything you need. But my little sister, a few years prior, broke her neck. She can walk now, but she'd broken her neck after having a fit. Her head is literally held on by a fucking screw.
Yeah.
And she's panicking. So she's panicking that her head's going to come off. And it is funny when you say it out loud, but that's how she rationalizes things. So I said, come over and I will look after you. We'll have a fun night. So I hop on a motorbike, go see mum. We play Uno. We have some food together. Calm her down. 9 o'clock, clear night, nice and bright. I have a ridiculously loud, very bright motorbike. It's just me on the road going back home, going past the junction. There is a lady and her daughter who literally looks at me. She's looking at me as I'm going past the junction and then panics and accelerates and hits me into a sign. So he run me over as well. So the early December, I got hit by a car. And
it was a proper accident. It wasn't just a little tickle this. It was a situation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that has been my 12 months. So yeah. Been challenging, but do you know what? Every single thing that's happened, and this is what we're going to cover more on the next one, every single thing, and I broke this down. I took the time to break each thing down now, and I have this phrase I use, so future you will thank you. So each thing that happened to me, and I find this phrase is cliched, but I thought, you know what? This is for me. What can I do?
They're only cliched because they've got truth in them.
Every single thing has been turned into a positive.
Yeah.
And you may think that's a bit morbid saying about your dad passing to turn into positive, but it's not so much that. It's more the lessons, how he lived his life, things he did do, things he didn't do.
Yeah.
That inspired me to change my life. So there's absolutely every single one of those things has made my life and my impact better. That's just a fact. I've broken it down. And, you know, one of the things, you know, we're talking about breakdowns and getting through stuff and that. I refuse to let life beat me down.
Right.
I won't allow it. I won't allow anyone else to beat me down, life to beat me down, situations to beat me down, and I will always fucking turn it into a positive. And that is what we'll be talking more about next time.
And one of the things that, you know, that you say, I mean, it's a bit tongue in cheek, but actually spite getting you through the, like, fuck you. These things are not good. And I remember feeling a little bit like that when I was at that kind of rock bottom, like, fuck you. Like, why am I gonna let this like wash over me? Why am I going to accept this anymore? And that anger sometimes is a real catalyst. People think that anger or spite, these things are like negative. Like you get a fight in it, right?
Yeah, it does. And to be honest with you, the whole fuck you attitude, but not in an aggressive way, just like I'll prove you wrong. I'll do it.
Fuck off.
Like, you know, I found myself, you know, lying on my bed, couldn't move my leg, couldn't walk, and I was thinking, right, well, this is challenging. So it's one of those things, but it gave me also time to think and plan. And, you know, I'm in the best physical shape I've been in 10 years, the best mental shape I've ever been in my life. The connections I've got are stronger than I've ever had. I've got the best literal, you know, my coaching group Espresso is a wonderful group of people. My private clients are the best mix I've ever had. Like not a single person that drains me, that is tiring me. Like literally I've got all the right people coming into my life effortlessly.
And that's a testament to the way that you do things. And I know we've run out of time for you and me today. I know you've got some things that you've got to do this morning, but there's a reason why we split this conversation into two parts. One is that I wanted to introduce you guys watching at home to Dan and to his way of thinking and the reasons why I work with him. And I'm going to stay with you guys for another 10 minutes or so and have a chat. But we will be back together next week to talk about more practical things.
There's no plans next Wednesday. So next week is open-ended, so we'll finish this off, and I'm happy to stay around for as long as needed afterwards for chats.
Amazing. Bring your notebooks next Wednesday, guys. You will need it. We are going to be dropping the bombs. Dan, thank you for joining me this morning on Wise Up Wednesday.
Take care, everyone. Awesome. Have a good day.
Love you, dude. See you later. So that was a little preamble, was it not, to what is going to be our Wise Up Wednesday next week. We fit a lot in then, right? One of the things that really drew me to working with Dan in the first place was the fact that we are so very similar. Him in his masculine energy, and yes, me in my feminine stroke masculine energy, depending on what kind of hat I've got on that day. But when you come across mentors that have been where it is that you want to go. You're right. He's come back for a little wave. You're right back there. So when you come across mentors that inspire you, it's always worth reaching out to them. And you've seen me do this in a number of ways. You've seen me do this with the likes of Brad Burton. You've seen me do this with the likes of Lisa Johnson. And Dan was not dissimilar. I got in a conversation with Dan and said, "Hey, you don't know who I am, mate, but you will. Hello, what you doing? Oh yeah."
My appointment got cancelled.
He disappeared, and I was like, "Oh, you're back, all right then."
I'm very respectful, so if you want me for a little bit longer, if you want to have some,
I always want you for a little bit longer, my friend.
The little bits because we have planned for next session. But if anyone has any, questions, or do you want to ask me anything else, Dani, we've got longer now. We don't have literally it's an hour-long meeting. It was to do with all things. It was accounting. I had to do it. It's just one of those. You're just doing. I hate maths, so I have to.
Same.
Do you remember? Because we're similar. Do you remember Pink Panther?
Yeah.
The films, and there was Inspector Clouseau and
Clouseau.
Yeah. So basically, my accountant is kind of like you have this. It's kind of like Kato. So I'll be like trying to not do fucking meetings because I don't want to do it, and he's just like hiding in a corner going, "Surprise, motherfucker!" So it's just kind of like we'll have a chat. We get on really well. We work for years. We're just chatting away like, "Oh, what are you up to this week?" And he'll just sort of casually say things about what's the word about just general stuff, and then he'll basically go, "Cool, I'll put that in your diary," like motherfucker. So he goes on and free. So just like so I'm back.
What a jolly surprise! We are absolutely here for it. Everyone's made up. Everyone's thrilled.
Like waking up and finding a spare kebab in your bed. You'll probably eat it if no one's looking.
So again, one of the ways in which we're quite similar, having your team around you, right, that deal with these things. I'm not a detailed thing. My ops manager is watching this morning. She's due to have a baby tomorrow. Her due date's tomorrow, but she's fangirling a little bit over the Gary Vee situation. It's a good job I didn't know about the Gary Vee thing when we had that meeting last week. It is on her life's plan to at some point just be in the vicinity of him. I don't think she'd know what to do if she actually met the guy.
I'll tell you a little story about that. So a couple of things. So first of all, he was a consummate professional, really, really nice guy. There's a really funny book where I saw some people that, no names because I don't know watch anyway, but I've met some really, really, people on TV, successful entrepreneurs, and I class the cook one as friends, just outside this world, I've done some mad shit with some cool people. I don't leverage anything.
No.
Never do. And I find it cringy when people are just trying to I remember once, I'll tell you this story, because a friend of mine put on an event at the O2 where Richard Branson was, and I've met Richard quite a few times. I've drunk with him a few times. I actually hung out with him at the Playboy Mansion. This is true. On his table with a guy who owns Patron, a guy who owns a space company. I was absolutely shit-faced, stole a bottle of Patron off there, waved at them, went for a piss in the garden, and ended up peeing on one of Hugh Hefner's peacocks. That is all a true story, so very quickly. Anyway, it sounds made up, didn't it? But it's all true.
We could just stop the show now. It's fine. Yeah, where do we go?
So he actually had a really cool photo of him. He had his book in his mouth, and he took a photo and shared it. And I did not ask for that. I was like, no, this is my, I'm not here for that. But one of the things that marks, and this is something that my dad drilled into me, and I used to go with my dad on sales calls when Anna wasn't well and stuff. My sister, by the way, Anna. Yeah. And my dad knew everyone's name, from warehouse staff, delivery people, receptionists, sales, management, owner, everything. Yeah. He knew everyone. Okay. And it was always his thing. My whole thing is I'll treat everyone the same. So everyone gets treated the same. And I was treated with a lot of respect when I was up and coming by some really famous people in the business, entrepreneurship, general world. Yeah. Okay. And I always try and, emulate that on the way back. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we did this week. We'd had 10 VIP tickets, and they were basically going to have half an hour back with Gary and chat to him. And they were pricey. But the first thing is, we went back and we had people clamoring at him and just trying to get little bits. And I was bigger then, but I was just like fuck off.
Because you were a bouncer as well in a former life, right? You were a doorman in a former life.
I can throw fists if I have to, but I was just basically shouldering everyone. I'm being polite, but no, go, because I know what it's like when you're on the bench. You just need your space. So anyway, we go backstage, and my mum and dad are there, and my mum and dad never get to come out. They had to come to London. We had to get a babysitter, not babysitter, but someone who look after Anna.
To mind Anna, yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm walking him in, and he goes, "Oh, who are those people?" So there's all the people are clamoring for him. Yeah, who are those people? And he's asked my mum and dad, and he literally said to these people who paid, a chunk of money, he said, "I'm going to be with you in 2 minutes. Wait." And he just went and had a conversation with my mum and dad. Really polite, asked them how they were. Said you should be really proud of your son for what he's put on today. And it was just a gregarious, fun, cool guy. So that to me, he's not everyone's style.
Right. But no, it's everybody. You're not. I'm not.
But he is a hard
everyone
worker.
Isn't.
And he was he literally flew in, did that, put a phenomenal keynote, hung around, went home. Then he was live streaming for 2 hours. Then he's 4 hours sleep back. He worked for it. So there's a story about Gary Vee and a good lesson for just being a good fucking human being as well.
Right. And my ops manager's now fainting in a corner somewhere that she knows someone who's been in direct proximity to Gary Vee. So I got into your inbox. We were just talking about being shameless, just when you popped off really quick, talking about being shameless. And it's been one of those things that when I read it at the time has been a real driver for IATQB in the way that I have done things since I read that 4 years ago. And I've said that to you before, but actually getting in touch with any of my mentors has been me being a cheeky little shit and getting in their inbox and saying, I don't know if I can work with you. I don't know if that's a possibility. However, I like the cut of your jib. You're going to know who I am. I'm on my way up. Can we be friends, please? And you were just like, yeah, all right then.
There's a right way and a wrong way of doing everything. It's just we've all been had DMs slid into us and stuff. And I've got some really cool, connected, fun, but they're just fucking people. Everyone, excuse me, I'm just going to scratch my nose. Sorry.
It's all right. Pity borgies while you were me, mate. It's all right.
And I'm I need to fucking itch it. But, I say this on the stages, right? So I'm going to do a visualization exercise for all of you. Think of someone you hold in high regard, okay? Up here, yeah?
Yeah.
High regard. Maybe it's someone you want to work with. Maybe it's someone you really find attractive. Maybe it's someone you want to connect with. Now, this is based off a part of my life, my recruitment days, and I can share the story if you want. But
yeah, I'm here for all the stories, buddy.
Them taking a massive shit.
Yes.
Visualize them taking ones you have to ones you have to take your shirt off.
You've got to get undressed for that shit.
I say that because it immediately will make you laugh and think, oh, that's what everyone does, right? No one is special. No one is special. Everyone looks ridiculous taking shit. They're just people at the end of the day. Now, some people love the smell of their own farts. Okay, in other words, they believe their own hype, and those people are to be avoided because they are cocks. That's it. Okay. Now, I've definitely responded to some inboxes, polite ones, in a shitty way before, but I'm also human. Some people have told me at the wrong time. They haven't been mindful. One guy was just kind of hammering me, going to take me out for drinks and stuff. And I said, listen, you little fuck. I was with love. I said, I'm very openly sober and talk about it. If you want to work with me,
yes, but I want to get drunk with you.
If you want to work with me, right? Maybe fucking study me a little bit and figure out some stuff. Some of the people who genuinely got into my life have again, smartly. So I don't mind it. Everyone knows my love for my little sister, and they've sent stuff for Anna. They've done things. Does that open my heart a little bit more? Of course, it fucking does. I'm a human being. And that's the sort of thing that I'm very open with. So for example, if you do want to connect with someone, follow them, listen to them, interact with them, comment with them, see what they like, see what they love. For example, if I was wanted to connect with Dan, this is just a random thing, I'd maybe try and find out who does your tattoos. This is just an idea. So I'd find out where you
take notes, take notes.
Yeah, so I would literally find out what it is, reach out to that person and say, look, can I buy a couple of hours as a gift for Dani for you? And you can say, I'd say, Dani, I've literally paid this for you. If you ever want to chat, I just want to say thank you for your work. Appreciate it. I know you love your tattoos. Have one on me in the future. Can you sit down? That would cost a couple of quid because they're not cheap tattoos, but would it get you someone's attention? Yes, it would.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's about being creative. Sorry, literally, I took a fuck ton of coffee before this. I'm not up this early. I'm up this early, but my morning routine. Should I tell my real morning routine?
You did, babes. You share this openly. It's all good.
Morning routine. So there's a big part in my book about morning routines, setting your day up, ending your day. We've been doing some work on this lately.
Yes, not directly together, just as a preamble to what he's about to say.
The team and so my morning routine. So I used to be like, I went through a phase of pure hustle, and I'm going to be very, very honest with this one.
Same.
If you think you can get what you want without hard work, guess what, Buttercup? You're wrong.
It's bollocks.
I had a year, and if you go on to, let me think where I put this. If you follow me on Facebook, add me on Facebook personally, and look at my little stories, I did a few little infographics, and one of them, it says, if I can find it, I'll show you what it looks like because I saved it.
These infographics that you have shared in the last 24 hours are absolute gold, by the way. These ones,
there, if you find that, it's screenshot it and zoom in, it shows you exactly what I did to get to where I am. So that's what I did. Now, I went extreme. A relationship ended, my health suffered, my sanity suffered. I chose that level. I chose that level of interaction. So that was my choice. Okay. So obviously, if you've got kids, dependents, you can still do it. And this is what I say. So I've worked with lots of people with, dependents, kids, partners, full-time jobs, etc. You can still do it. Is it easier for me? Fuck yes. Massively easier. Okay. Yeah. My privilege in that regard is the fact that I'm single on my own, have the assets I have, energy on my side, very, very handsome, modest, that sort of thing. But what I'm saying is you can do it, but like you said, so whenever I work with people, I always like when I was working with Dani, we're factoring in, Wallace, children, downtime, everything else.
Date night, sex, actually joking that sex wasn't happening. And we were like, oh man.
All my clients like, you ain't knocking boots, you ain't living. You ain't living. All of it. Okay, true story. Sex is I joke about it, I'm a horny little bastard, but I'll just say this, right? Intimacy, sex, you know what you get from it, the oxytocin, you get a hormonal release. Listen, if you ain't knocking boots regularly, do it. It's good for you.
And not only that as well, for those that are spiritual out there, as an energy, sexual energy is really aligned to things like success. It's not about going and shagging about or anything like that, but actually having that as an energy in your life is important. It's a necessity, and it gets negated.
On that. But there's a part of it, the connection. But anyway,
I got a new bed.
Morning routine. So the reason I'm a little bit gone off suddenly just sort of tapered up a little bit energy wise is because I woke up. I don't usually have caffeine first thing. I kind of spike myself up. So I work with a guy called Angus as a sleep coach. He's really good. And so I said about being a night owl. So my genetic chronotype is that of a night owl. I come alive later in the day. I fall asleep later in the day. And we all have different ones. So if you think back to when we used to live in caves and stuff, right? If the whole fucking tribe went to sleep at the same time, that's 6, 7, 8 hours where we're unprotected from predators and shit. Yeah. Right. So the reason we often sleep at different times, the way our brains work. So I'm naturally a night person. The world, there's about 20, 30% of us who are like this. Yeah. The world is run, it fucks us. We're not supposed to fit into the world. We're supposed to do it. So I start later. So anyway, my genuine morning. So today it was literally a pint of fucking coffee, some nootropics, and just fucking smack myself around the face in a cold shower to get myself going. Okay. So my usual morning, but this is it. My usual morning routine is generally wake up, go have my supplements, have a litre of water to start the day. Yeah. I will do my stretching. I've got a machine that hangs you upside down. Always wanted one. Got one. It's brilliant. I stretch my spine out, do my hip mobility. Then I do a little bit of journal, literally just write out my plan for the day. So I clear my head of what's in my head.
Right. And that's important, like an eject button for your head. We talk about journaling a lot.
I just literally just get it out of my head, what I want to do for the day, plan for the day. Then genuinely I go back to bed. I have a wank. I listen to a podcast. I play Xbox, and I do that, not all of that, for about an hour.
All at once.
Fury. And I say this because all of those things, right? So literally, obviously, I stimulate myself in multiple ways. I have a coffee, I spike my hormonal levels, and I play, which helps my brain basically just relax. So then my phone goes off for that hour. So then I start my day. So when I turn this on, before the dick of life has touched me that day, I've set myself in a good mood. So even when shitty comes in, I'm already up.
You're on a level 8 or 9 already before things like have opportunities. If you're starting on a level 2 or a 3 as you are walking into your world that day, then who's setting themselves up for success where, when, then? It's not the case, is it?
Yeah, and that's it. So and one thing I say, and this is, we've done this exercise lately, I do to a lot of people is, and I'm probably going to say more at mums, you're a bit more guilty of this, and please, no one goes like for you, the patriarchy. No, I'm logical. I'm talking about this as someone observing this outwards.
Yeah.
Women, you're fucking amazing, especially mums. I adore my mother. I love women. I think a lot of what you do, I love your energy, and I enjoy the company of females in a work capacity and a personal capacity. Mm-hmm. But especially for the mums, you put everyone fucking first. Everyone. And you come so far down the fucking list, it sometimes actually makes me a bit sad. Now, obviously, I know you love your kids and, you know, some of you love your partners and so on and so forth, right? But you have to, all of you, and my advice would be is try and factor in some you time and a little bit of selfish time every day where you can work on your things, whether it's yourself, whether it's just a break. Ask for help, reach out to people, put this sort of stuff in. And I say this to everyone. Everyone does this. We all do it wrong because no one tells us this. We plan our days around work. Nah, go fuck yourself. I plan work around my days. So everything that goes into my diary first is beneficial to me. So morning routine, evening routine, my gym sessions, mindset sessions, reading sessions. I've been doing this for 9 years. So this is not, many of you can't have the things like that I'm saying, but I've worked hard to get here.
And some of these things are as a result. As a result of doing these things is one of the reasons why you're in the position that you're doing is by allowing yourself that bandwidth, that time for yourself. And we often fill our time up with all of the worky stuff and wonder why we get to that point where we're burnt out. Actually building. Yeah.
The smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But everything in my life is factored in. So I have an hour a day which just says fun. And that hour can be, I can go for a nap, I can play my games, go for what I want. Literally, everything in my life makes Dan the best version of Dan for me, and that then bleeds into my clients' lives.
Right. And sadly, we had a coaching call just a couple of weeks ago and you asked me, what do you do for fun? And I cried because I was like, I can't remember everything I do. The show, but the show itself, cynically, like a business coach would look at me and go, oh, Dani, your show's your lead magnet. I'm actually, this is my fun. This is what I genuinely enjoy. But allowing time for that fun and remembering. So I want to know in the comments, if you're watching along this morning, what do you do for fun? And if those of you that are parents out there, you might have forgotten because you'll think, oh, spending time with my kids is fun. Yeah, it is. I've no doubt in my mind it is. But if it's just for yourself, what is fun? What is it? So I'd picked up things like Downton Abbey. I picked up things like picking up the show again and not treating it with any kind of.
This is one of the things we wanted to do when we were chatting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, because obviously, and I obviously nothing private shared, Dani, so don't worry, you can trust me. But one of the things I said to Dani is I love her relentlessness at getting there because I identified with the Daily Show for years and years. But I'm like, you can't do that. So what gets you to one level? So I have a little analogy. My booster rockets, I share that one. So the space shuttle when it takes off, yes, you got the shuttle, you got that big fucking dildo thing, and then you got the two little side dildos. Okay, so I literally
those of you that turned up for the filth this morning.
I'm gonna point instead. I can't do that anymore. So it's basically you've got the two boosters on the side. They're the most powerful ones. So when it kicks off, that's fucking getting you up. Okay, so that's what gets you started. But then if they stay attached, the thing will blow up. So then if you let them go up and then they fall away, then it's the big one that gets you to the next level. So I would say Dani is now on that booster rocket. She's on that middle one. Whereas I am now, then that gets you out the stratosphere and then that falls away. And then it's the rocket, it's the spaceship that goes on its own. Now I'm in the spaceship.
Right? You're on the butt plug.
So I'm at that point. God. So Dani's obviously on the next stage of her acceleration, which I'm helping her with. But you've got to understand is that Oh, what was the point? Sorry, I got really excited about my.
So we were talking about energy and being relentless. So we were talking about like that bit that takes you off.
Show, it's a case of nothing. All the guests were good, nothing wrong with anything. So if anyone's watching, think, it's nothing at all. It's just I wanted Dani to focus on less often, so she could work more on the business, higher quality. Not that anything's wrong, but literally quality guests, quality conversations with outcomes. So this is it. It's nice doing this right now. I enjoy this. I hope you're enjoying it too. From my point of view, I can see the comments. Any feedback, please leave them. Good, bad. I'm not, precious. Anything you like, any takeaways, genuinely make me happy to see. But the main thing is, I wanted is because Dani's so good at this, and she does have such a good, engaged audience. I wanted her to have good conversations with people with outcomes, and then obviously take those out and discuss them and actually use them as part of her world. Because it's all very well having a nice chat and a good chat with someone, but it's like, well, what do we do with it? And that's the sort of thing we're going to do on the Friday now.
Absolutely. So I think we've been going for 50 minutes, man. I've taken up a huge chunk of your time today, and I'm so grateful, Dan. But for fear of spilling over into next week and getting into all of that practical stuff, I think that the large dildo analogy is a great place to wrap the show up today. You can ride. Of course.
Where is this being streamed? Because I will show it to my people as well. Where do I find this to show people?
This is on the Queen Bee Dani page on Facebook. It's also for those of you that are watching in my free community, the IATQB Hive, and also over on YouTube. So if you don't follow me over on YouTube already, do. It's at the Queen Bee Dani across the socials. Dan, how do we follow you, my friend?
About 10 foot behind. No. Okay.
Looking around the corners.
Yeah, little crescent. If you want slightly more sensible content, just Dan Meredith on Facebook. Just add me as a friend. There are spaces. You can join, follow me. If you don't want to be a friend, that's fine. If you want to be part of the community, Coffee with Dan groups, join. You can, fine. Mm-hmm. If you want to see an insight into what can only be described as highly leveraged mental illness, at the real Dan Meredith on Instagram. My Instagram posts are pretty good. Kind of like my Instagram stories are batshit wild. It is literally a live running commentary of whatever's going on in my fucking head at that time.
Which is sometimes a little scary to watch.
Yeah.
But it's like watching the most enjoyable car crash. It's like take your popcorn if you're heading on into the stories for Dan.
True story. I'll wrap up with this, right? If I could bottle the drug, if I could bottle the last few seconds before I got fucking yeeted into a wall, it was awesome. That honestly, the slow-mo was cool. I could see it all happening. And do you know what I said, right? And I said, bear in mind, I went, for fuck's sake. It wasn't even angry. It was literally for fuck's sake. And then, the final thing is, adrenaline, fucking fantastic. My bike is very, very big and fast. And it weighs like 250 kilos. I picked it up by the wheels and went, for fuck's sake, I'm going to have to get this fixed now. Yeah.
With a bad back, but there's a lot you can do on spite and anger. In summary,
I'll shut up now. That's it.
And crazy memes. So please do go and follow my man Dan over the real Dan Meredith on Instagram and Dan Meredith, or go and check out Coffee with Dan. And indeed, if you want to get into it a little bit more, Espresso with Dan as well, which is Dan's membership, go and find out more. It is awesome. Dan, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'll see you next week.
See you soon. Bye, guys.
So there we go. A little extended time with Dan this morning. Yes, it was naughty in places. Yes, it was insightful in places. Yes, it was emotional in places. You can always expect that kind of roller coaster when you're speaking to that man. And I am just so excited to have more of a conversation with him, with you next week for Wise Up Wednesday. Please do expect this as the level of awesome experts and awesome people that I'm going to be bringing to you as part of the show at Wise Up Show. If there is anybody in particular that you would like me to interview on a Wise Up Wednesday, get in my DMs and let me know. If you are not already in the IATQB Hive, you want to be a part of it. Things are getting really jiggy in there at the moment, especially as we are in the run-up to Be Inspired, which is our huge in real life and Zoom event happening in Manchester on the 30th of September and 1st of October. Don't miss it. If you want to get hold of a ticket, do. They are starting to sell really fast now. We've only got 70 tickets available in the room and 350 tickets available for you to watch at home live. We've got 25 incredible speakers, plus Chocolate PR are hosting a media panel so you can interact live with national press on the day as well. That is Be Inspired, 30th of September, 1st of October. Get your tickets. If you go to imthequeenbee.co.uk, you can grab your tickets there. Go and do it. Stop what you're doing. Go and grab your tickets now. I will see you on Friday for our Rising Up session. I'm going to be singing you into the weekend and also sharing with you some of the celebrations that we've been having in IATQB this week, and also your celebrations as well. I am so excited for the show to continue in the way that it is. What a cracking way to wake up this Wednesday. I will catch you all in the IATQB Hive. Head on into my DMs if you want to know more about Be Inspired, and I will tell you all about it. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.